When in doubt, zoom out. Maybe you've heard that. It was a pretty common phrase. What does it mean? I'm going to dive into that today. I'm going to show you guys exactly how Bitcoin has performed over the years. Not in specific numbers, but just from a visual perspective. And I want to put into perspective what's happening now and how that relates to Bitcoin going forward. And I want to finish it off with something that Cathie Wood has said in one of her interviews that I think is very important for all of us to understand in exactly the way that I think. So let's jump right into here. So this is my guy, Dan Held, OG in the crypto space again. He's very, very active when it comes to the information that he's putting out there, the posts, the comments, the tweets, all those kinds of things, okay? And this was on LinkedIn here. And so what he says is, when in doubt, zoom out, just like I said in the beginning, right? Every time Bitcoin has died, it has come back stronger. So when you look here at this graph, okay, this line graph, all the way back here, 2010, you know, we got a nice little bump there, and then it dropped, nice collapse down here in 2012. Bitcoin was dead. Had a nice little run up again, 2014, had a collapse again. They proclaimed that Bitcoin was dead. They being mainstream media and everybody else, right? Like, it's condescending giggles and looks and things like that, and comments, right? So here we go, nice big run up, 2018, we're hit almost to 20,000, and boom, drops right back down. Significant. I think it dropped down to, in 2020, we're looking here at around 3K, 3.5K, somewhere in there. All right, so big drop. They claimed Bitcoin was dead. Then we went from there all the way back up to about 69,000, had a double dip there, or double peak, I should say, and dropped back down now. And so again, Bitcoin is dead. And so with all this FTX, even for myself, when I covered the FTX, it's more on the, you know, the shock factor, as well as trying to get to the bottom of what the actual truth is. Okay? That's the main reason why I cover that. But the majority of people who are covering it are using it as an example that crypto is dead, and because of crypto, Bitcoin is dead, and they kind of equate the same thing. The two is the same thing. And so I wanted to show you that there have been many opportunities here for crypto to go to zero, or Bitcoin to go to zero, right? And it always comes back stronger and stronger. And if you study or in this space at all, you understand that. If you're not, things look shaky, right? But the JP Morgans of this world, who are doing things with wallets, blockchain, all these big name brands that are coming into space, the Starbucks and whatnot, that are adopting this, it's unbelievable. But you're not going to hear about that because negative news sells. So when you zoom out and you look at this and you see, well, what's the trend? What's the overall trend? It's an upward trend, a significant upward trend. And so no matter how these dips happen, and in the moment, it seems like everything's going to go to zero. But it's just a little blip on this graph. That's what this one will be as well. You know, we're looking for a strong 2023, 2024, especially the next happening. And we'll see even new highs at that time. So I just wanted to point this out, that when in doubt, zoom out. And of course, I actually commented on Dan Hell's post here, and I said, of course, it's going to zero this time. That's a sarcastic comment. Everybody's always waiting for the next big dip to zero. Whether you're a proponent of Bitcoin, or whether you're a bear of Bitcoin, or you're someone sitting on the sidelines waiting to get in at a better price, you're always thinking it's going to drop. And you're waiting for that. Well, look, those who've waited since day one are probably still not in now. So keep that in mind, all right? So I want to cover now, where is Bitcoin right now? All right, with everything that's going on, the FTX, the Three Arrows Capital, the Celsius, now with this whole Genesis, which is the lending arm of Gemini, which is another big exchange, potentially going bankrupt. Where are we? Well, we're sitting here at 16,500. Okay, so pretty significant drop from its highs here of 69,000. Okay, but we're not going, you know, we haven't hit the 13,000 that most people are talking about, or sub 10,000 that a lot of people are waiting for or hoping for. I mean, we are still above the 2020 lows, which was sitting around, you know, I think at its max it was around 3,000 to 4,000, somewhere in there. And, you know, kind of went up from there. So we're still holding steady. Meanwhile, everything around us is crashing. Stock market, real estate not doing well, but Bitcoin is holding its own. All right. So the last thing here is I just want to play for you guys something that Cathie Wood said, and I want to explain why this relates to us as well. So she's talking about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin protocol.
So then I'm assuming that you're going to hold to your Bitcoin forecast for, what is it, $1 million per coin by 2030. That still feels good to you?
Yes, and you can, sometimes you need to battle test. You need to go through crises to see who the real, to see the survivors, first of all, but really to battle test the infrastructure and the thesis. And again, we think Bitcoin is coming out of this smelling like a rose.
Cathie Wood is one of many.
All right. So that to me is significant what she said. That you have to battle test. Now she's talking about the protocol, she's talking about Bitcoin, the thesis around decentralized currency that does not rely on a third party or middleman or woman. It's trustless, it's paperless, it's borderless, it's censorless, and it's immutable, meaning you can't change what happens on the blockchain. You can't edit it or alter it. And fully transparent, right? So all these things, this thesis has to be tested, and it's being tested now. But I'm going to go one step further. Those of us who are in the space, this is our test. And those who've been in before us have been in the space, as I showed you all those dips before, that was their test. So this is nothing new to them. It's part of the cycles for them. They continue to buy in dollar cost average because they know it's been worthwhile for them since day one. But for those new or fairly new, it's an experience we've never dealt with, right? Now, we have to show that we're in this for the long haul, because it's not about price point. Price is a byproduct of the fundamentals. And right now, the price is not reflective of the fundamentals of Bitcoin. So these are our battle scars. We need to test. Now, not only does the protocol need to be tested, but those who invest in a new paradigm shift have also need to be tested. It's just the way it is. And so if you don't have conviction, you're going to be out of here, and most likely you're going to regret it, trying to come back in when everybody else does, which will be when it's sky high again. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Stay the course, have conviction, do your own research, and hang in there.